Giving young people, and in respect for your time, I will not read my testimony, I'll summarize. But giving young people the opportunity to gain the skills that they need to enter and be successful in the workplace is critical for their future and the future of our nation. The harsh situation for young job seekers is most felt by low-income youth, and in particular, low-income youth of color. I know that the members of this committee understand the hurdles that these young people face. Every piece of legislation, every speech you give clearly tells the American public that you get it. Nearly 3 million young people from 16 to 24 are not in school and do not have a high school diploma. At least 1.7 million out-of-work youth are unemployed today and actively looking for work. They're looking for work without the adequate academic or occupational skills. They're looking for work without a work history and without a support system to help them gain the industry-recognized skills or the degrees that will help them compete. According to a 2009 study by the Center for Labor Market Studies at Northeastern, the nation's teen labor markets have been continuously declining over the last 9 years, establishing, as Congressman Klein said, a new historical post-World War II low level of employment for this age group. And in 2009, we add to their hurdles. Many of their parents and guardians, their grandparents, their aunts and uncles are unemployed, underemployed, are living in fear of losing their job. Through the Recovery Act funds, President Obama and this Congress resurrected a standalone summer employment program this summer. The recovery dollars provided subsidized work opportunities to over 280,000 young people. Governors, mayors, and workforce staff worked on a very short timeline to organize a program that had not been funded by the federal government in over 10 years. And in my opinion, they did a remarkable job. At a time when private sector employers were dealing with downsizing and struggling to stay in business, they opened their doors to young people to show them the value and dignity of work, to give them a boost or sometimes a start to a resume that will be the foundation of their future. The impact of this experience is difficult to fully capture. While we can tell you the numbers, only the young people can tell you how this one job, this summer, opened their eyes and their minds. I got the chance to meet with some of them. And for those young men and women with whom I met, and I'm sure you had the same experience, it was a profound experience. Economists argue, and I'm not going to get into that argument, that for every dollar, I'm sure my colleagues on the panel will, for every dollar a teen earns, it has an accelerator of $3 in the local economy. I'll leave that to them to refute or approve. But what I can tell you is I brought 3 binders with me. I have 30 binders of letters that were sent to the President this summer by young people without any push from any adult to thank him and thank you for this experience. When I met with them and I read these letters, I can tell you that they're all kinds of kids. They were 14 to 24. They were white, they were African American, they were Latino, they were Asian. I met with them and they told me some of them had stayed in school and some of them had dropped out, some of them had been incarcerated, and some of them were just without a clear path. They had no direction for how to get from where they were that day to where they aspired to be. But in their words, what did they learn this summer? They learned that work was hard, but once you learned how to do it, your job got easier. They learned that people are nice to you on a job. They learned that the more you know, the more you get paid. And that the skills on the job are related to the stuff they learned in school. People at the workplace measured and did math. People at the workplace wrote and edited each other's writing. And when you forgot to put something on a list or in a memo, then somebody else on the job couldn't do their job. And everyone told them to take the hard courses. Everyone told them to take math and science. Everyone told them that staying in school was easier than going back and getting your GED, and that going to college, quite simply, meant you got paid more. They learned how to dress. They learned how to act. They learned how to get to work on time. And they learned that if you miss work, your job doesn't get done, and you let your team down. Some love their jobs. They wanted to go there and work there as an adult. And some of them learned they never wanted to do that job again, and it was the only reason they would stay in school. And what did they do with their money? Some of them gave it to their parents to help pay bills. Some of them told me, many of them in fact, told me that their parents are afraid of losing their houses or losing their apartment. Many of them bought clothes for themselves, and some told me they bought those clothes for younger siblings. Some of them told me that they spent the money on movies and McDonald's. And many of them told me they were using the money to buy gas for their car or to buy a used car so that they could go to the community college that fall. The summer employment program was not perfect. I admit that. But it was an amazing effort that yielded important results. It put money into local economies, and it taught these young people, at least the ones that I met with and the ones that I got the copies of the letters from, it gave them a huge life lesson. We are taking a serious look at the lessons we learned with this summer program. If given the gift of a program in 2010, I'm here to tell you, we will present wider opportunities. We will help local areas more efficiently recruit, screen, and manage their program. And we'll give them a better chance to customize the jobs they offer young people with their aspirational levels. When I meet with them, it's important for me to tell you that the first thing they do is thank you. They ask me to thank the Congress and thank the President because they tell me that I'm the closest they're going to get. And I turn back and tell them, not if you keep going to school. You'll be in my job and in better jobs. Thank you so much for this opportunity, and I look forward to your questions.